Morning guys, it's Stephen here on Sunday the 1st of February, a few hours before City take on Tottenham Hotspur at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which should be a very interesting game, a game that none of us really look forward to, if we're being honest. Yeah, it's Spurs away, isn't it? It's always a niggly little game. But we have to turn up today, hopefully get some points, because Arsenal, of course, won yesterday quite convincingly. And if there's any chance of this race still, if there's any chance, we have to win this game of football. It isn't going to be easy. Despite it being Spurs, it never is easy for us at that ground. Fingers crossed it will be. Spurs have only won 2 games at home under Thomas Frank, and they've been a bit of a mess. I think they were so close to losing 3 in a row, and I don't think they've won in 2026 in the Premier League, actually. Yeah, I think it's their European record that's been papering over the cracks. But that doesn't mean anything when it comes to City versus Spurs. As we all know, this fixture is cursed from a Manchester City perspective, and hopefully it won't be the same today, but it very much could be. If you are new to the channel, give the video a like and subscribe. I'll be hopefully doing a watch long later. Depends on the health of my family. We're all not 100% right now. I'll fingers crossed I should be able to do a watch long, but I'll let you know. Or you'll see the live video. If not, I'll do the match reaction, absolutely, of course. So let's talk about this game and what it actually means for Manchester City and so on. If you look at the table and where we are currently right now, which gives us the biggest indicator, of the current results. Here's the standings in the Premier League right now. City currently sat 7 points behind Arsenal with a game in hand. Of course, this is the game in hand now that we've got to play. Arsenal won yesterday convincingly against Leeds. Spurs currently sat down in 14th place. Not having the great season, Spurs, under Thomas Frank. The saviours come in and not really done much yet with must be said, a very depleted Spurs side right now. But largely they've been struggling, and their results in Europe are definitely papering over the cracks in Premier League football. I think they currently, didn't they finish 4th in the Champions League table, something like that? I'll go back and just double check. But I swear, there we go. Yeah, they finished 4th. Look at that. Ridiculous. They finished above us. And Barca and Chelsea and Real Madrid and Inter and PSG and Newcastle and Juventus and Atletico. Ridiculous. Only behind Liverpool, Bayern and Arsenal in that group stage. But that's the duality of man, I guess, you know. But either way, their form has not been anywhere near the same in the Premier League. They've been struggling big time down there in 14th. Probably fine for the relegation battle because they're 8 points clear of West Ham in 18th right now with 20 points. But they are struggling. They absolutely are. Weirdly, though, they're still a team we have to take seriously. Of course, from City's perspective, we're off the back of a 2-0 win against Galatasaray. Doku was great in that game. Unfortunately, he won't be available for this one. Probably out for about 2 weeks. He'll miss the Liverpool game. Maybe the week after that, he'll be back. Marmoush started that one through the middle. Shirky started on the right. Haaland through the middle. O'Reilly and Bernardo Silva, they held the fort in the midfield. Rodri just wasn't available for that game. Was he suspended? He was, wasn't he? For a red card, yeah. I actually think that's a good thing. Rodri could be available. And Nico Gonzalez as well came off the bench in that game, which was really useful to see him get some minutes on the pitch. Likewise, you had Reinders and Phil Foden on the bench. And, of course, Mikasa, who's now gone out on loan. 2 of the bench have left, by the way. 2 of our most recent bench. Mafudi's gone on loan to Watford. Mikasa's gone on loan to Leicester. So we actually are gutting our squad a little bit more there. So, 2 players with first team experience, and Mikasa in particular. But yeah, fair enough. We lost 2 more players there who are regularly involved in the squad. But yeah, this is how we lined up. Nunez, Kusanov, Ake, and Aït-Nouri. I suspect we're going to see a reasonably similar side. It'll be interesting to see how we line up. I'll go to the press conference quotes from Pep Lijnders. He took over from the press conferences from Guardiola for this week. Guardiola was away doing a personal thing. I think he was doing part of a speech for the in aid of the Palestinians, wasn't he, actually? But he's back in Manchester now. Back in London now, of course, ready to lead the team. So he said about Doku, he said, as always, he said it's a similar injury to the last, only this time it's a little bit on the outside, lateral side, now it's on the centre. Last time it took 18 days. I presume this will be a little shorter. But it's in the middle, so we have to take time. But Jeremy's very robust, so let's see. Basically, Doku's getting kicked to pieces at the moment, and it's affecting him. I wish he wouldn't get kicked to pieces every single game. I wish he was protected a little bit more, but this is the reality that we live in, unfortunately. He gets kicked and no one does anything. And he's injured for a couple of weeks. He said, we're looking forward to this game. We have to be, for 95 minutes, really concentrate and think how we want to play, how we want to do it, show our mentality and our way. But we're looking forward to going there. Yeah, I mean, we have to. We have to get something from this game. We have any chance of getting anything from this league race. He did after also talking about Ruben Diaz being burgled, unfortunately, which is awful. Him and Mayo Jama's house broken into. They weren't in the house, thankfully, at the time, so no one was hurt. But that must be terrifying, man. It's so invasive, that, isn't it? It doesn't matter how successful you are, how much money you've got, or whatever. Someone goes into your home and takes your things. It feels it don't feel good, does it? It never does. I can imagine it feels quite traumatic. On a more lighter note for Ruben Diaz, he will return to training on Monday, which is good news. Good news to have a player of his quality back in the team. He talked about Jack Grealish. Not interested. He said about Semenyo and GUEHI. I said, I think we did excellent business with Antoine, Mark, Oscar leaving, of course, but I think we added strength. What you always search for is to add somebody who can improve your first 11. If you can find players who can, and that's not easy for City, improve your first 11, you do good business. I feel we succeeded. I agree, actually. I agree on that front. I think we have done. Yeah, I think we have done as well. I think the players improved the 11. In terms of City's actual availability, so if you look at the other day, Donnarumma, obviously Nunes, Kusanov, Ake, Aït-Nouri, they're all available for this game. Bernardo, O'Reilly, Shirky, Marmoush, Doku, of course, not available, Haaland. You had Foden, Reinders, Gonzalez of the senior established players. But returning to this team, you'll have Rodri won't be suspended, and Semenyo and GUEHI will all be available too, which is good. I think we might see Guardiola. I wonder if Nico Gonzalez will play this one, or Rodri. I'm not sure. I think Bernardo Silva will likely play because Guardiola trusts him away, but I don't know. This could be the one where you see, for the first time, the double pivot. The long, muted double pivot. Let's give this a City colour for one and try and guess the team. I think we're going to see it in goal Donnarumma, obviously. Now, I do wonder who's going to play here. Now, Aït-Nouri the other day, I didn't get to do 5 things learned because the house has been poorly. Apologies about that. But one of the things I would have talked about in the 5 things learned would have been Kusanov and also Aït-Nouri. I felt Aït-Nouri more than took his chance against Galatasaray. I think he showed his incredible technical ability. He's very Marcello-coded, isn't he? Great going forward, really effective. Creatively so good. Probably better creatively than Aït-Nouri. But Aït-Nouri's better defensively, probably physically right now. Though Aït-Nouri hasn't been that bad defensively for City. And O'Reilly hasn't been in his sharpest form. Good in midfield the other day. But I do wonder if he'll favour the physicality against Spurs of Aït-Nouri for this one. Sorry, of O'Reilly. What do you think in the chat? I'm not sure. One thing I do know is that the rest of them are locked on. GUEHI will start. Kusanov will start. And Nunes will start, of course. Those 3 are absolutely locked on. I think Rodri's locked on. Given he's not playing for a week, I think he's almost certainly going to start this game. We know Haaland will start. Semenyo will almost certainly start. It depends where, though. Will he start on the left or the right? I think he'll start. I think he's going to do this. I think Semenyo will start on the left. Shirky will start on the right. I think Foden will start this game. I know Foden's form's not there, but I still think he'll start. And I think it'll be this, potentially. Silva, Rodri. I mean, I would play Nico Gonzalez, personally. I think Aït-Nouri might start this one, not O'Reilly, just because I think Semenyo can tuck in a bit closer then. And then you'll see Aït-Nouri get further up the pitch like that. Nunes just sort of round here, a little bit deeper, like that. And Shirky will tuck in a little bit every now and then. Sort of like this, I reckon. It could be that he also just goes for all of them. Nico G plays as well. And he just goes for Silva, Rodri, and Nico G. All of them sort of play there and let the Semenyo and Shirky do their thing. He could also play Marmoush on the left, absolutely. And Marmoush, what he could do, he could play Marmoush on the left, he could tuck in. Shirky could play in the middle like that. I don't know if he'll play Foden or Shirky, but he could do that. I mean, I don't mind that with Aït-Nouri going in, Marmoush going closer to Haaland. The other day, Marmoush, when he played, it was like more 4-4-2, where Marmoush would be more on the left here. But if Ryan Aït-Nouri plays, Marmoush could play on the left. It's really difficult to predict this game. Depends what he wants to do, really. It's hard to read, but I think we have got enough here. You know, I was reading about what Spurs have got available, what they haven't got available, and they are missing a few players. Like Spurs are missing they've been missing a lot recently. There's an awful lot of talk about Spurs' form, but Conor Gallagher, Bissouma, Mateus Tel, Dragusin, Sowers have all been unavailable. Maddison, Kudus, Kulusevski, Ben Davis, Porro, Bergvall, Richarlison, Bentancur. So many quality players out for Spurs right now. Spurs are really injury ravaged. Like, you never know how to take them seriously because they've got so many injuries. Like, but look at the team that drew against Burnley, Spurs. I don't watch the highlights. This is how they lined up that day. Solanke, Odobert, Simmons, Conor Gallagher, Bissouma, Podro, Spence, Van de Ven, Romero, Danso. But they're still missing a fair few players there. To be fair, okay, they had Conor Gallagher and Bissouma, but they had no Kulusevski, they had no Maddison. If they get everyone back, they're a really good side, Spurs, but the football, I mean, they've got a good collection of players. They should be doing much better, shouldn't they? I'm expecting Spurs to have a lineup of something like this, where Spence and Udogie maybe as fullbacks. I think Romero and Van de Ven have been their shining lights, scoring goals. Both of them scored against Burnley to save the day. Paulinho, Gallagher maybe. Then maybe Solanke, Mawani, Simmons, Odobert or something like that. They've got a lot of quality, but they're just playing so poorly and so strictly come down to nice. So erratically right now. I haven't got a long time for this video, so I'll just sort of get to the preview anyway because I've got to shoot out with the family. But I do feel this game. My head says we actually win this one reasonably comfortably because I think Spurs are all over the place. But my heart says my heart says that. But my head says it's Spurs, and it could be a frustrating day where we get like a draw. I don't see us losing. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I think though this is one of the ones where potentially if we win, it's because our depth actually helps. The fact that we have Nico Gonzalez and Rodri available for once, and that we can call on a different combination of Semenyo, Haaland, Marmoush, Foden, Shirky. I think that could be really useful. If you had Doku, by the way, I had 100% predictions to win. I also think once again depth when we talk about O'Reilly and Aït-Nouri and different options there. I think that's really useful. I think we're going to win this one. I'm going to balance between my head and heart and say a 2-1 City win. Yeah, I'm not extremely confident, but because Spurs are difficult. The way that this goes wrong for us is if we miss loads of chances. I'm going to tell you how we win. We win if Semenyo is clinical, if Foden has a decent game and he turns up, or we win if Guardiola decides to control the midfield and lock it down with Nico Gonzalez and Rodri. Bernardo has a wildly experienced game. Shirky turns up and does Shirky things. Haaland takes his shooting boots and actually puts them on today. That's how we win today. Defensively, GUEHI and Kusan are building that partnership from the Wolves game. That's where we could win with the strength of our back line too. The way we lose is we don't take our chances. We get run through our midfield. We're a little bit too slow in the transition, and Spurs with their energy and their pressing and the size of their stadium, they get ours. Solanke has a worldie for some random reason. Xavi Simons scores against us for whatever random reason, and we lose frustratingly like 2-1 or something like that. That's how I see we lose. But I think we probably will win today. I don't think I'm being naive there. I just got a feeling about it today. I have gone. Let me know your predictions below. I will be live for the game later, hopefully. If not, definitely for the match reaction. For now, the Blues, have a wonderful day. Just a short preview, but I want to chat about it before I headed out with the family. Bye-bye, guys. In a bit.